example, leading us like that. That's great. All right, Brother Darrell, you and the team, y'all come ahead. We're glad that you're here. We have been praying and anticipating tonight.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the PowerPoint. I'm going to go through the PowerPoint because, well, you know what happens when you leave teenagers in charge of stuff. And they're going to interject as they want to about stuff that they liked or saw or everything else. Y'all remember when we were here the last time? We came and we sat there and the boys were all like sheepish and didn't really want to talk to anybody or anything else. They're kind of just like sitting over there like sitting ducks and whatnot. And then now, you know, they're back there causing trouble with the other teenagers. So they're all getting in together and causing problems together. So that's what teens usually do. So anyway, we were able to go to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and we were working with the Timlins, as we said before, and it was the UIM, United Indian Mission is the name of it, in Tucson, Arizona. A little bit about them is this is the home base, as we said before, and they fly the planes to the bases that are in, they're U.S. registered planes, and they fly them into the bases in Mexico. They have 4 bases in Mexico that they station them at for 6 months at a time. Every 100 hours, the plane has to come back and they have to go through the whole plane. And I think, wasn't that bad hot. It was only 108, right? It was the hottest day it was?
No, I think we had 110 one
110
day.
one day. Yeah. And they use what's called swamp coolers to keep everything cool out there. Because it's so dry, like there's no water hardly at all because it's desert. And the water running over a cardboard box, basically, and then air flows over and it keeps everything cool. The house we stayed in did not have air conditioning, but we were comfortable every night. I don't know how it works, just science, okay? Just however it worked, it worked. It was nice. But we were with them, and they fly in and out of there, and then they bring the planes back in, do all the work on them, and send them back to Mexico. What it is they said a 12-hour drive through the mountains, through the Indian tribes up in the mountains, is a 20-minute flight. That explains anything to you. So a 12-hour drive through the roads and everything else is a 20-minute flight for them. So they do a lot of medical stuff. They do a lot of going in and doing dental stuff where they have people to come in and check the teeth and stuff like that and everything else. So that's what they do. That's what the planes are used for, just so you have an idea of what the mission itself does. We got there. We left. Willie had never flown before. And we left my house at 4:15 in the morning to go to Charlotte and fly out of Charlotte. Willie was like a little kid in a candy store, going and looking at the cockpit. We have other pictures of him was sitting in the cockpit with the captains, and he got these little trading cards and everything else. You ever taken a child on a plane? That's basically what I did. The professionals, they knew how to fly. Then we got there, and the first things we saw were cactuses, all desert. I was not expecting that. I didn't really know what to expect. But those cactuses, each arm that they have come off takes 50 years to grow one arm. So as they get older and older and older, they're very old cactuses. They don't really know how old some of these cactuses are. And it's a federal offense to mess with them or do anything with them. More of the scenery stuff, just nothing but flat desert with mountains in the background. That's the Timlins house there on the side. You see the other one. That's where they live, the missionaries that we were helping. They use irrigation to keep a little bit of plants and stuff in their yard, but not much because water is expensive and there's a lot of no water out there. The UIM headquarters, this is where we went. We were working there. I was under the impression when we started out that they owned their own little airfield and everything out there in Tucson, but their airfield is actually just one hangar on what's called Ryan Airfield. It's one of the different sub-airfields of Tucson International Airport. So it would be like going to Greensboro International, and that's where they're based, but that's also owned by Raleigh or Charlotte. So it would be like that. They're about 30 minutes from the Tucson International Airport, but it's a smaller, basically regional airport is what it is. We were able to go up in the tower and you can see the different hangars and stuff that are over there, and those are the different hangars that they have. UIM has one hangar. Now they have 2 hangars that they own, but they have 4 hangars that they have use of that are owned by other people that let them use them. You go through. That's just a picture of the inside of the hangar. You can see it. That's their big main hangar. And as you see on the side there, all the boxes and everything, those are all parts, O-rings, everything else. So when a plane comes in, they got to grab stuff off and go. and they know where everything is. I had no clue what any of that stuff was. It was just a bunch of boxes and gibberish. More organized stuff. I mean, it's just how it is. If anybody works with anything specialized, that's what you have. You can't see it very well, I don't think, on those pictures, but that's their airfield planes that they have on the left-hand side. Those are all the planes that... It doesn't work very well. All the ones on the left-hand side are the planes that they have. That's just the one blown-up vision of it, but the other one is across it. That whole board that has all the squares on it, the grid, has all the different checks that they've done on these planes throughout the year. When what is due, when the plane has to come back, what planes are in operation, what planes are not in operation. They have one plane that they had that was down because it was kind of half crashed in a training exercise. A lot of different stuff's happened, a lot of different things, a lot of different moving parts, and I understood absolutely none of it. It was just all a bunch of stuff written on boards. As I said, you see that paper there? That's a checklist of all the stuff they have to do, and all those parts and screws in that table. Those parts and screws have to go back into the plane after they check everything off. It's just, you got to go through a checklist of everything it is. You can't really see it, but I'm pretty sure that's a foreign language that everything on that paper was written in. All in regular numbers, but just didn't make any sense to me. All those books, how many of you know what a Haynes repair manual is? Some of you do. A Haynes repair manual is a manual you will buy for a car or vehicle before Google and before computers and everything, and it will tell you all the different settings on that vehicle to fix it. All the different things on it. It'll have everything about that engine, that vehicle, in that repair manual. And those books on that wall are the repair manuals and the log books, because everything you do to a plane has to be logged from the day you get it to the day you get rid of it. Some of these planes are from the 70s. They've gone over them, gone through them that many times, changed motors, changed engines, everything else. This is the stuff that they have. And that's what it is. You can see the tubing above it all. That's the air conditioning. That's the swamp cooler thing. The air comes out of that to keep the hangar cool. But they have all those different books and stuff like that. Each mechanic has their own toolbox. I didn't dare touch the toolboxes because it was very organized, and you'll see them in a second. That's the inside of their hangar, all the planes they got, which is why they needed the new hangar that we worked on. There's all kinds of stuff you can break walking around in there, and there's all sorts of things in there that you can see and do. This is Mr. Paul Timlin, the guy that we support as our missionary. This is his toolbox. If you moved one of those wrenches and he went to grab it and it wasn't where it was supposed to be, you'd be in trouble. One of the guys at church that we had, he passed away last year. His name was Josh Patuski. Actually, the song that they sang was a song that he sang and led all the time, so it's kind of a special song that's Light the Fire. He played at the end of all of our Singspiration times. But he had in his airplane toolbox, he had styrofoam cut out with an insert for each tool, because the tools had to be in the right spot and in pristine condition. That's what had to happen. Very organized toolboxes. You ever seen my toolboxes? They're all thrown everywhere. Jason can attest to that. But this is the work project. The work project we had was this airplane hangar was across from their main hangar they have that was given to them by someone that was there, that was a friend of theirs, gave it to him because he was done flying, done with planes, and was like, here, you can have it. And we had to insulate this hangar because this is the only hangar on the base that has an air conditioner in it. And it's the only one that they have that has an air conditioner. The entire airfield, it's the only one. So we had to take these mats, and we had to clean them off because they were the top. They're R19, they're 4x9, I think, maybe 4x8 sheets of styrofoam insulation that are R19, is what he said they were. But they were on the top of a Kmart. They were the top layer on top of a Kmart, underneath all their roofing and everything else. And it had a little leak, and they just kind of threw all the stuff out into the yard, and we're going to throw it away. And UIM said, hey, we can use that. So they gave it to them, said you can have it. So we had to clean them all before we could install them. And if you see in the back corner, this is their storage hangar. If you see in that back corner back there, that is the stack of all the insulation that we had to move and clean off. We had to clean all that stuff off in order to be able to do it. And how many of you ever messed with insulation before? It's real nice. Use it as a blanket, right? When you're cold, because it keeps stuff warm, right? Or cold. Use it as a blanket, right? No. This stuff's the nasty stuff, okay? And it gets all over you, and the kids were all like, why are we itching so bad? What's going on? We had to cut them and put them in place because it was all just metal walls, and the outside of that metal wall was the outdoors, the 108 degrees that we were talking about. And it's a dry heat, so it wasn't quite as humid as it is here. I grew up in Florida. I didn't think it was that hot. They were all complaining, but it wasn't that hot compared to you walk outside and lose your breath because it's so humid and can't hardly breathe. But it really wasn't as bad as they think it was. We had to do different things. Willie's one job was to hold the wall up while we waited, and you see what happened with that. So we ended up replacing him with a trash can and just shoved it against it to hold the wall in place so it didn't fall. But no, we had to put all this insulation on the wall, and then we would, after we put it on the wall, we had to put metal against it to hold it in and then screw the metal into that other metal beams, and that was insulating the walls. He said afterwards, it was amazing how much cooler it was in there and how much it retained the temperature. What's that thing called, Gabe? No, not the machine. The machine. The machine. If anybody's ever cut insulation board and trying to use a razor knife to do it, the razor knife, first of all, isn't long enough. But when you cut insulation, it dulls the blade so stinking fast you can't even use it. So the only way to really cut that stuff was with a battery-operated Sawzall or a Sawzall. And how many ever cut styrofoam with a Sawzall? What happens? There's little giblets of styrofoam everywhere, right? There were little giblets of insulation all over the place. We made a royal mess cleaning this stuff up and getting it done. But we were able to get it all done. And then Caleb put the screws in the wall, and they went like this up the wall. Instead of a straight line, they went like this. What?
I said, he want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it? No, he doesn't want to talk about it? Okay. But yeah, we had to screw it all off to the wall and go from there. That's what we were doing. You see the insulation that went in. This little corner here, that's Titan's corner. The guy Tony that we were working with, one of the guys in charge of operations out there for projects, he said, I don't want to waste a single piece of this. So he told Titan to take all the scraps and put them in that little space there. And Titan had to use a jigsaw puzzle to figure it out, and he made it. As you see, we had to go all the way to the ceiling with it. They had only planned for us to do the bottom half, but we were able to do the whole thing, upper and lower. And some of the money that y'all sent was used to buy more metal and stuff like that they had, some of the different things that they'd used to pay for different things and whatnot. So it was really a good trip to do different things with it. And if you see all the holes that are in that, I was glad Jason was here. Those holes are where all the electrical had to come out off the wall and be extended out in boxes and stuff like that. And then this here is Caleb's favorite part. He really liked driving that skylift as he went around and put the different stuff because the ladders didn't really fit. Tell him about it. Here. Tell him about it, Willie.
He broke the air vent right there.
I did not break the
He crashed into it. He went up and crashed.
I did not break the air vent.
Nope, you did.
So the man Tony was driving it, and so okay, hold on. Let me start over.
You broke it.
I really liked that thing. I wanted to ride it, and I wanted to use it. So I started driving it. He taught me how to maneuver it and everything, and then he said, "You're going too slow. Let me do it." And he took the wheel, and he backs up, and I was like, "You're going to hit it." And he keeps going. I was like, "You're going to hit it. You're going to hit it." And he hit it, and it fell. And then the first thing he said was, "Caleb, what are you doing?" And I was like, "No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me." And now he says, "I broke it." I did not break that. I did not break that.
This is a taste of what I had to put up with and what Jason and Mr. Bennett had to put up with. No, we didn't die. This is the finished product, what we ended up doing. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the air vent has been repaired. It has been repaired.
Daryl replaced it. Fixed it.
I had the ex sheet metal guy had to fix it. And this is what we found every night when we came back to the house. The boys actually had to work, so therefore they actually came and passed out every night because it was so hot. There was a pool there, so we would go to the pool in the afternoons, late afternoons. We would go and sit in the pool a little bit and use the pool to cool off for them guys and whatnot. I went back to the Timlin's house and sat on their couch and petted their little fur ball because it was nice and calm. And this is Mr. Bennett's job. Mr. Bennett just pointed at stuff and stood and watched and laid down on the job. And
He was our supervisor. He had to take quick naps here and there.
It was actually really good to have Mr. Bennett on the trip because we went to a set of caves that were there, and they were telling us about the stalactites and the stalagmites and everything that was there and how long it takes them to grow. And did you know that the stalagmites grow 1 inch every 10, 15, 20? Was it 100 years? 1 inch every 100 years? Something like that. It was like a long time to take a stalagmite to grow. And they had one that was like 9 feet long. And Mr. Bennett was telling us about what it was like when that stalagmite was only 1 foot long. And he was so excited about it, to see it again. No, that was Mr. Bennett was our driver, and he helped, and Mr. Bennett actually worked and kept the boys in line and everything else, and tried to keep me in line, but it didn't work very well. He was basically our bully that we got to pick on. We also had a really good time, fun and fellowship. The Timlins, and Mr. Timlin really wanted to take the guys up on the plane. He really wanted to do it to show appreciation, so these guys got to fly in a smaller plane and see what it was like, and to be in there. Y'all want to say anything about it? Y'all just want to?
Me and Jason got to fly the plane.
Yeah, they got the adults actually
fun.
got to fly. He let them take the wheel and fly for a second. I mean, he could hit them and knock it off and take it back over, but they didn't trust the kids to do that. We got to go up in the tower and see the tower and look all the way around at everything that was out there. It was really good to have, really good to see. And then we played games. If you know, how many of you know who the Watkins are? The Watkins family. Nate and Carol Watkins. Chick Watkins was his name. He was a missionary in Africa back in the 70s, 80s, something like that. His daughter is Mrs. Timlin, the lady you see sitting there on the side. And in Africa, there's not a lot of stuff to do, so they come up with crazy games to play. And the loser of the games had to wear a crazy hat. So we had a good time. And Titan really liked that hat because he had to wear it the whole time because he kept losing. And then there was also a punishment where you had to eat something that was nasty. One time it was hot sauce infused salsa, like African pepper they put inside of it, and it was just disgusting. Different things, just fun and fellowship, playing different games, hanging out, doing different stuff at night when you're chilling out and relaxing. But the other thing that really you could see was how much the Timlins enjoyed the company of people that were from back east where they're from. Where they had gone to school, where they had known people, because they're sent out of Salem Baptist Church in Winston. So they knew everybody there. They knew it was a good time to fellowship with them and talk to them about different things that had happened. Just to sit around and have a time to fellowship at night and wind down after dinner. Butter time. Who wants to play butter time?
Okay, so this man right here is the one who actually broke the air vent, not me. I'm just going to start with that one. His name is Tony. And so every day at 10 o'clock, we would stop working, and we would go into the main hangar to pray. And they would pray for the hangar, and they'd pray for, like, everything to go well and smoothly. And we got there, and it's basically snack time first, and then we pray. So we pull out all of our trail mix, and this man pulls out butter. And I looked at that, and I was like, is he eating corn on the cob or something? Because why are you pulling out a whole stick of butter? And he was like, oh, I'm on a diet. I'm just eating butter. And he starts and I was like, yeah, that's so disgusting. And I remember texting my mom. I was like, the people in Arizona are weird. They're eating sticks of butter. And I was like, that's so disgusting. And, yeah, it was not a very enjoyable sight, but and then it didn't get better because during lunchtime he would put tahini on it, salt, pepper, and just no thank you. You can have that back now.
So anytime we stopped for a break, it became butter time. It became the running joke. You want to talk about the prayer time?
Yeah, do something.
So it was neat for me. I guess kind of like going on this trip was one of those deals where it's like, okay, you think it's going to go, you think the teens are going to get something out of it, and I feel like I got more out of it than what the teens did. Because it's just neat for me. I guess this year has kind of been like a transition in my life where I'm looking at what I can do for the Lord more than just what I'm doing on a daily basis or what I'm doing now. So I work in construction, own a business, and for me, I was like, okay, I'm just going to have a business and can use that money for missions, and then that'll be serve the Lord that way. And then getting out there and just seeing the missionaries and seeing, okay, these are people that God's given a physical talent to. They're using their physical talent, but they're also doing spiritual work. Every day they are taking time to stop and pray. Like Daryl mentioned, they own 2 hangars, but they have access to 2 hangars, and that's just because of the testimony that they have. Like all the time, different people from the airfield were coming in. They're stopping to talk to them, to witness to them, and through that, the testimony they had there on the airfield, people were letting them store stuff in their hangars and just different things like that. So it's cool for me just to see, okay, these are people that they're serving the Lord full time with their physical gifts, but they're also taking the time out of their day to make sure they're still doing the spiritual things that they need to do. So like this, you could just see they all came in, would stop. They all knew the different works that were going on in Mexico, so they were stopping to pray for those. As well with that, they were different things from their church or from their families or people that they met or knew or salvation needs, just all those different things. They were stopping to mention them and to pray for them. So it's just neat for me to see, okay, these people, they care about using the physical gifts God's given them, but they're also making sure that they're doing the spiritual work. So it's cool for me just to be able to help kind of understand and be able to work on that balance in my own life to make sure that I'm not just living physically for the Lord, but that I'm also stopping to take that time to do that spiritual work too.
And one thing you guys can be praying for the team in UIM that's out there, that hangar, UIM is they have all sorts of stuff. They start out their work, the mission start out their work in the Grand Canyon with the Indian tribe that's in the Grand Canyon. But this is the aviation division. That hangar is part of Tucson International, and they've been separated, kind of, sort of, but they're still under the umbrella. And Tucson International has a new board that's coming in, and they're trying to change the regulations and change the leases and change different things to make it where they can't work on their own airplanes. They can't do a lot of different stuff. So while we were out there, they were really praying about that. But then I called Mr. Paul last week and talked to him about it and see how everything was going. He said that they have a new manager of land assets for Tucson International, however that works out. But he's over all of the sub-airfields, like the minor airfields. And he's a Christian, loves missions, and goes to Paul's church when he came in. He moved into Paul's church. Wow. So answers to prayer about it. I don't know he says, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, what this guy's going to be able to help do, but we're becoming friends. He loves us, and I'm excited about the possibilities. So, was there anything you boys wanted to add? You just going to stand up here? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, they don't like to talk. They're intimidated. Y'all are very intimidating. So, is there anything else anybody wanted to add?
Their facility's really beautiful. It's well maintained. Bathed in prayer. One thing that impressed me was the parts they have to get are very expensive, but they always get them every time, and that tells you they're blessed. So that was impressive to me. I got a blessing from it. I hope they got a blessing from me. It was a good time. I wanted to go, and I did go. So it was fun. And if you get the chance, do it.
Just to give you an idea of how expensive stuff is, that plane that we said was in the training accident, the wheel went up through the belly pan where the cargo is and everything. And this thing looked basically like one of those cargo haulers you put on the top of an SUV. That's what it looked like. But it fastens to the bottom side of the airplane. $11,000 for that little cargo pod. So just to give you an idea of how much stuff costs for planes and how much it is. So if you want to go sit back down. So thank you guys for praying for us. Thank you for sending us for the funds that you were able to help with. It helped us out getting there and buying tickets and buying different stuff and going through different things. And I really appreciate you guys and the love you guys have for missions. And as we're finishing up, I got about 10 minutes left, I think. I want to finish with one verse. Colossians 3:23-24 says, "And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ." So as I was thinking about this verse and I was going through it and I was thinking about different stuff with it, what does it mean to serve the Lord Christ? And as I was looking through it, there was a phrase that kept a word that kept coming to my mind as I was doing it. The word is pure. What does pure mean? Usually when we talk about purity, we're talking about things where usually people are talking about, between a guy and a girl and stuff like that. That's what purity usually is involving. But when I use the word, just the word pure, what do you think of? Somebody tell me. One of you teens, okay? Not one of my teens, one of the Swan Creek teens. What does the word pure mean, Josiah? What? Gold, pure gold. But I did say that. What does the word pure mean is what I'm saying. Spotless, clean, undefiled. That's what it means, okay? So as I think of the word pure, I'm going to give an object lesson of it. When I was my sophomore year at college, my dad and my brothers came up. One of my brothers was here at Piedmont with me. But my dad and my other two brothers came up to go hunting with us. We went up into Giles County, Virginia, and went up and hiked up 3 miles up a mountain and went hunting for Thanksgiving break. It was a great time. Memories that will last me for a lifetime. Okay? But Josh McCroskey, some of y'all remember Josh McCroskey, some of y'all know him. I'd gone up there the year before with him and hunted some, and he had showed me where the spring was and we can get spring water. So I told my mom and my dad about it, my brothers about it, so we're just going to take some bottles of water with us. We're going to get some spring water. So we got bottles of water, and we opened the bottles of water. We drank the bottle. We had, I think it was Sam's Choice water, and we drank it, and then we were going to refill it in the spring, okay? Spring water was good, okay? But as you open the bottle of water and you looked at it, you can see the bottle, you see it's clear. You would look in, and then anything you get from a spring is going to have what? Little particulates floating around inside of it. And I was talking to my brother about it, and we were laughing about it, and James the next day was sitting in the place he was hunting, and he looks at the bottle, and it says, this is one he'd already refilled. He says, this bottle from Sam says it has flavor-enhancing minerals. And I was like, definitely now. We got the dirt in it and everything else. It's definitely that. So that water was good water, but was it pure? Was it purest form? No, it had a little bit of particulates in it, a little bit of things in it, a little bit of things that were not right in there, that were wrong with it and everything else. And I was like, well, okay, that's good. So as I was thinking about that, I brought a bottle of water to represent the particulate water. And then I brought a bottle of water. I call it the Wakanda Forever water, but it's the Waiakea water. How many of you know what the Waiakea water is? You ever seen that? It says Hawaiian volcanic water, naturally alkaline electrolytes, deep well water. Does that sound like really good water? It's the purest form of water. It's what I would call the bougie water. I was on a job site and a guy pulled one of these out and I was like, what are you drinking? It's in a clear bottle like that. I've never seen a water bottle like it. What is that? He was like, it's volcano water. It's got a higher pH balance. It helps my reflux. I was like, I could tell your wife's a nurse. But that's like the purest form of water that you could find. Comes out of that well, deep well. It's been enriched with the volcanic water and everything else, so it's been purified and it's so nice. That represents that water. So we got the purest form of water, and then we have the flavor-enhancing minerals water. And then, before I came here tonight, got some more water. This water, you can survive off of this water if you had to. If you were in the desert and you were like dying of thirst and somebody handed you this water, you could drink it and you wouldn't die. This water came out of the puddle in my front yard. Before I came, I filled it up because it was raining. It's been raining. There's a puddle in my front yard. So this water here, my dog drinks this. So every time we go out, my dog loves to run over and drink it. So it doesn't hurt you. If you were dying and like you needed water and you had to have something, you could drink this water and it wouldn't kill you. Honest to goodness. I'm not going to drink it. But you could drink it. It just tastes a little bit dirty. That's all it would do because it's got a little bit of mud in it. But the water came from the sky, so God sent the water so you could drink it if you had to. Hasn't had anything in it that was bad or anything like that. It came straight from the sky, okay? So you got those three things of water there. As I think about that, think about the three different types of water. Levi, tell me a chore that you have at home to do. Huh? You have to take out the dog, okay. All right, you got to take out the dog. What are some other chores you have at the house that you have to do? Clean off the table, okay. We're going to go with cleaning off the table. That's what we're going to go with. Jamie, he says he has to clean off the table after dinner. What is the best form of cleaning off that table? You walk in, and his job was to clean off the table. You walk in, and should the table look like? Should have nothing on it. Not a crumb, not a speck. It's been sprayed and wiped, right? So it's perfectly clean. Do you have like the little fancy little placemats to go around it to be decorative afterwards? You do not, okay. Okay, yeah, you have too many kids to do that, yeah. But the table should be perfectly spotless and clean, right? So that would be the reference of the volcano water. Perfectly spotless and clean. So you tell Levi to clean that table off, and you come back in, and he's got all the plates off of it. They're all in the sink. They're all off of it, but there's some, what's the littlest one? Say Tobias. We'll say Tobias. Go see him right there. Tobias's seat has some trash around on top of it, and maybe some under the floor. You don't spill food on the floor, do you, Tobias? No, you don't spill food on the floor when you're eating? Never, never. Okay? But you got a little bit of food under the table that, he didn't pick up and everything else. But for the most part, the table is clean. It's kind of partially done, but it's still done enough to not get into too much trouble. It's just like, hey, Levi, go finish cleaning off. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. But if you were to come in, you told him to clean the table off, and the plates were gone, but all the forks and the napkins, and there was trash all over the table and everything else, would that be sufficient? Would that be worthy of a, hey, just go back and clean it up, bud. It's okay. I understand you missed a couple pieces. No. Would he be in trouble for that? He'd be in trouble for that. That would be what this water would be. And as I think about that, that's just an example of things that we're supposed to do, our responsibilities, the things that we're told to do in life, of the level of what you put into it is. Are you offering up to your parents or your workplace or whatever it is, the pure water? Doing the best you can absolutely do? Being the best form of yourself? And I understand that some days, you have days you've just had a rough day. How many of you had a rough day? And you miss a little bit. You're tired. You can't do everything perfectly. But you're still going to give it a good effort. Those are the days where it's been rough. So you get a little bit of particulates left over. You don't do everything perfectly. You don't do everything to your best. A little bit tired. That happens occasionally. You're striving every day for pure. Occasionally, you have some But if you get to this level, that's the plain I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do the bare necessity to get by, to do the stuff that I need to do just to get moving. Just so mom doesn't get mad at me. Just so my coworkers don't get mad at me. Just so people aren't upset with me because I'm not pulling my weight. I'm just going to do the bare necessity. That's the I don't care. I'm not going to lie, I've had some of those days as well. Really bad week, working in a place that I really didn't want to work in. I'm done. Checked out, done. That's a once in a blue moon deal. But if you're every day that you're offering up to the people you're around, the work you're doing is this, you need to examine your life. You need to examine it. If your every day is this, and you have particulates left over, and you occasionally get a perfect day, but that's only by luck, you need to work on those little small details in your life and fine-tune them. And you need to strive for the pure, the clean. Whatsoever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord. That applies to your business life, your social life, your work life, your school life, your everyday life, sports, whatever it is. It's your personal life in the world. Let's take it one step farther. What are you offering to the Lord in your spiritual life? Are you offering Him the pure water? The pure, your best, doing it the best you can do? Where occasionally you have a day where I need to get through my devotions. I know I got devotions. I know I got to do them. I'm going to do them, and I really want to do them, Lord, but I'm about to fall asleep right now. I'm so tired. I had a bad day yesterday, or I didn't sleep well last night, so I can't do them in the morning. I'm out of it a little bit. I still love you, Lord. I still want to do great, but you don't have it all there. And then there's the days where you're just checked out completely spiritually. Checked out completely. And this is what you offer on those days to the Lord. This is what you offer Him. He says, hey, I want a drink. And you hand Him that. Those days happen to everybody at times. But as I said before, how are you living daily? Is your daily life this garbage that you're offering to the Lord? Or is your daily life I just need to fix a few things to make it where I need to be? Or is your daily life, I'm giving you the best that I have. I'm giving you what you deserve. I'm giving it all to you, Lord, because you are my all in all. Ask yourself, what are you leaving to the Lord? What are you offering Him on a daily basis? This is a visual explanation of it, a visual thing that comes through my mind. Whatsoever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord. My grandpa had a saying, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So if it's worth whatever it is, whether it's your devotions, whether it's your personal life with someone else, whether it's your work life, whether it's your school life, whether it's your sports life, if it's worth doing, do it right. And do it with your all. Scott, I'll close it out with you.
Hey, that's a great challenge. Let's spend some time now just praying about what we're offering to the Lord. I'd like to pray specifically, just looking ahead to Awana, looking ahead to cross-training. What are we going to offer to the Lord this year? Sunday school teachers, what are we going to offer this coming week when we go into our Sunday school classes? And so let's just spend some time just being honest and humble before the Lord and just really just doing business. What have I been offering you, Lord? What will I offer you this week? So let's just take a few minutes just to spend some time just communing with the Lord, honestly, humbly before God, okay? So heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Everybody, let's be real before the Lord. Lord, I am thankful for the visual tonight. I'm thankful for the challenge. Lord, I know you're worth the best. And I know your word is clear to do what we do heartily as unto you. And we know there's going to be an accountability day. And Lord, we really do want to be rewarded by you. And so, Lord, would you please search us now? And help us, Lord, just to be humble and honest about what we've been offering you here lately, and to really have a passion going forward, just to work for you, to live for you with all of our heart, offer you that pure work, that pure worship. So, Lord, I'm excited about Awanas this year, and I'm excited about how you're going to use your word in the lives of boys and girls. But I just want to pray for my brothers and sisters, pray for the team. Lord, that you would just really give them a passion to worship you through the Awana ministry. They would just consistently offer you just wholehearted work, wholehearted worship. I pray for the youth ministry, Lord, and just so excited about things getting cranked up there and the youth leaders. And Lord, I just pray for them. I just pray that this year the effort, the work that they do would be wholeheartedly. So, Lord, please bless those ministries. Use these ministries this year for your glory. And Lord, I pray for my own heart. I pray that you would just help me this week, by grace, to offer you just that wholehearted work, Lord, because you're worth it. So, Lord, thank you for speaking to our hearts this evening. We love you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Brother Darrell, thank you so much. Thank you, team, for coming tonight and reporting back to us. Good stuff. All right, let's stand together and let's sing I Love You, Lord. And let's go out into the mission field this week and let's offer the Lord wholehearted service, wholehearted worship. All right, let's sing together. Any announcements before we go? All right, let's sing I Love You, Lord, all right? Love you in the Lord, church family. Hey, let's walk in the Spirit this week, all right? Let's be in the Word. Let's be in our prayer closets. Let's walk controlled by the Spirit. Lord bless you. Go in grace.